Hello, my friends. Let's start with an update. Russians are continuing heavy drone attacks on Ukrainian territory. Last night, there were reports of a large number of unmanned aerial vehicles entering Ukraine, along with the explosions reported in Kyiv, Chernihiv, and Zaporizhzhia. Meanwhile, the Russians are complaining that Western missile strikes on Russian territory are continuing, and yesterday's strike has been confirmed. The Ukrainian Armed Forces General Staff also reported a hit on an S-400 system in the Kursk region last night. As we can see, the fight goes on. In the Kursk region, Russians are now claiming they're making progress. So far, there is no confirmation of these claims, so we await for further updates. In the Kharkiv direction, the Russians are conducting shelling, but no new offensive actions are being recorded. In Vovchansk, the fighting continues, but the front line remains unchanged. In the Kupiansk direction, the Russians have managed to advance slightly towards Kindrashivka and are attempting to push further through the fields. They are working to stretch the flank in preparation for a potential encirclement of Kupiansk. Fighting also continues around Glushkivka, where the Russians have had some minor successes. Overall, the situation is gradually worsening. In the Borova direction, the situation is even worse. The Russians are attempting to fully encircle Ukrainian forces in four settlements. They've managed to advance now only 2.5 kilometers from a key water barrier. However, the Ukrainian forces are holding their positions and continuing to defend. Meanwhile, the Russians are also assaulting Zeleny, though there are no changes here yet. Further south, there is significant activity as they attack Kopanki, push towards Novosilka, and engage in battles for Chernihiv, Дружелюбівка, Греківка, and Novomykhailivka. Although the situation is extremely tense, the front line remains unchanged. In the Kreminna direction, battles are ongoing for Terny and Yampolivka. The Russian forces are still unable to completely drive the Ukrainian forces out of these settlements, but fighting continues and the front line hasn't shifted over the past day. In the Siversk direction, battles are ongoing for Bilohorivka with heavy shelling in the area. However, there have been no new Russian breakthroughs toward Siversk, and for now all attacks have paused. It's likely they are regrouping for further actions. In the Chasiv Yar direction, the situation is very challenging. Almost half of the town is under Russian control, and they continue to advance, albeit slowly. The Ukrainian forces are doing everything possible to hold the defense. Additionally, fighting continues for Stupochki, but their defensive line has held steady over the past day with no changes. In the Toretsk direction, heavy shelling continues along with ongoing battles for Toretsk itself. Unconfirmed reports indicate that Russian forces may already be encircling the Sukha area, but we await official statements. In any case, the situation here is difficult with continuous fighting. Ukrainian forces have stated that the loss of Chasiv Yar and Toretsk would significantly worsen the situation. If Toretsk falls, holding on to Chasiv Yar will be nearly impossible without further tactical maneuvers. The future defensive line may shift to the Pokrovsk-Mirnograd-Konstantinivka line, with subsequent battles for these towns. The news is concerning but expected. Let's not lose hope and consider how each of us can support the situation. Everyone can contribute in some way. In the Pokrovsk direction, Russian forces are assaulting Myrolюбівka, Prominy, advancing onto the outskirts of Mirnograd and attempting to push along the railway line. They are also attacking Lysivka and approaching the village of Zhovte, which the Ukrainian forces report is now in the gray zone. Battles are also ongoing for Petrivka, Grigorivka, Pustinka, and Pushkine. Practically speaking, these settlements are either in the gray zone or close to falling under Russian control. Unfortunately, new changes along the front line are expected soon, not in our favor. Russian forces continue pressing the defense and are moving closer to the Dnipropetrovsk region. As of today, only 16.5 kilometers remain from the front line. In the Kurakhove direction, Russian forces are making gradual advances, breaking through a few more kilometers from two sides and significantly tightening the front line. Notably, Ukrainian defensive lines are present in these villages, but the dual-sided advance by Russian forces has weakened their effectiveness. Additionally, heavy shelling continues in the villages of Konstantinopol, Ulaki, and Dachne, signaling Russian preparations to advance and cut off the main road to Kurakhove. In the direction of Velika Novosilka, Russian forces are also progressing gradually. They have reached the town's outskirts, with battles now occurring there. Ukrainian troops describe the situation as follows. The Russians made a push with armored vehicles in the Velika Novosilka area and reached the eastern outskirts of the settlement. Their assault group has taken new positions on the approaches, capturing strong points that were partially fortified. If they continue at this pace and capture the town, it will open a path toward the Dnipropetrovsk region. Additionally, Russian forces are attacking Rozdolne and advancing from Novodarivka and Rivnopil through the fields. The situation here is also dire, with the front line collapsing significantly. Only 7 kilometers and 200 meters now separate Russian forces from the Dnipropetrovsk region. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, there has been no recent activity. All Russian attacks have been unsuccessful, and it appears that they have yet to find a vulnerable spot for a decisive strike. We'll see how the situation unfolds. In the Kherson direction, shelling continues on the right bank, but Russian forces haven't attempted to advance onto the islands, and there have been no significant changes over the past day. Meanwhile, satellite images of the Pivdenmash plant in the Dnipropetrovsk region have emerged following a strike by a new Russian missile. Preliminary reports indicate minimal damage to the plant. Satellite images from November 24th don't show substantial damage to Pivdenmash, contradicting Putin's claims that the new missile strike had rendered the facility inoperative. We await further updates on this development. And that's all from me. So please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.